Welcome back to another episode of Auction Talk with Steffes Group on the Mighty 790 and 104.7 KFGO. I'm Rusty Halvorson. In studio with me, third-generation auctioneer Max Steffes of Steffes Group. Welcome back, Max. How you doing?
I'm doing great. It's good to be back in the studio with you, Rusty, and familiar face for us. Levi's back.
Yeah, Levi Otis of Ellingson Companies. Levi, you came in for another show that we did, and we talked about some of the myths about drain tile and did some education when it comes to drain tile. And we're going to talk about a new topic this week, something that's probably near and dear to your heart, something you've been working on for several years now. Tell us what you got going on, Levi.
Hey, thanks. Thanks, Max. Thanks, Rusty. It's nice that it's kind of warming up after our little cold spell. And in not too long a time, we're going to start seeing the geese coming back this direction. And we know we have about 2 hunting seasons in this state, spring and fall. And for some reason, sometimes they blend together. But in 2020, we went live with QR posts. It's a posting company that we put QR codes, no different than any QR code that you've seen now in the last several years. Put it on posted signs for a way for farmers to help manage all the requests that they get, either from hunters or hikers or snowmobilers or photographers, bird watchers. So obviously in our neck of the woods, hunting is the dominant request that farmers get. But around the country, it's a whole slew of different things. So we started that back in 2020 is when we went live.
Okay.
My brother-in-law is a web developer, and he's my partner. And he was living in Denver at the time, and the news, I don't know if you guys remember the posting laws coming out about
electronic posting.
It was right before they developed electronic posting, which wasn't great timing on my part. But the farmers were mad because they had to go out and post each piece of property, and felt every year, right? Or if the signs lasted, they didn't have to, but people would knock them down.
Generally, if land is not posted, it's kind of considered to be open land. Is that correct?
Yeah, in North Dakota.
Okay.
There might be another state. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. But most other states are presumed to post it, meaning no different than your backyard. If somebody comes and sits on your patio, you're kind of like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You should probably ask permission. But North Dakota, if there's no sign and now no electronic posting, you could still enter somebody's property to hunt or do whatever you want.
Are you required to check the electronic post? So if
hunters are, yeah.
Okay, so if you pull up to a quarter of land and it is
there's no sign.
There's no sign. You're supposed to go on the GIS site and check to see it's not electronically posted.
Correct.
And if it's not, you're good to go shoot geese or pheasant or deer or whatever.
Yep.
Huh.
Yep. Exactly.
Huh.
So there's still some heartburn with that because somebody might not post it. If you're an out-of-state landowner, like if you live in Moorhead and you have land in North Dakota, you can't electronically post. So then you have to drive over and post your property physically.
Really?
So that's a little difficult. And I understand what Game and Fish is trying to do. They're trying to make everybody happy. It's a little cumbersome, but it is there. And I think it could be a great template for maybe even the rest of the country. But at the same time that they were dealing with that, my brother-in-law called and he's like, why do our hunting friends hate our farming friends? And why do our farming friends hate our hunting friends?
Friction from time to time.
And we grew up in Devil's Lake, right? And we'd go hunting with our buddies and obviously you're going to school with farm kids, so it wasn't as hard to find hunting land as maybe somebody driving from Wisconsin or Fargo or Grand Forks or wherever.
Yeah.
So it wasn't a thing to us back then. You probably hear kids complain a little bit, the hunters are back, etc. But we just never had an issue finding land to hunt, right?
Yeah.
And most of us North Dakota kids didn't. As the years go on, right, there's fences cut, there's ruts. We've got a study posted on our website from NDSU that says it could be anywhere from $6 to $20 an acre to fix ruts. Well, kids going out mudding or you're dragging trailers or you're just really not being kind to the land, it makes farmers mad. And, they're still respecting their private property rights, and everybody just needs to be diligent of that. So Kyle and I started one company, and actually there's another company that's live now, and basically it was the same premise. I used to be in the hotel business. I worked for Ellingson, which is a good North Dakota company, and we treated each piece of land like a hotel room almost, right? Check in, check out. It was before Airbnb, but we got so in the weeds. Farmers want it easy, right? They're getting tossed a lot of technology every day, and if it's not around for a while, they're not going to use it, right? And they don't want to start something in 2 years it's gone. So you got to keep it simple early. We were just talking about our video, right? If your video is longer than 32 seconds, somebody's moving on, right?
Yeah, and for those of you listening, you're curious what we're talking about. So QR Post, you go to their website right now. They got a great 30-second video that Bryce and I were actually watching earlier that kind of breaks down exactly what QR Post is. And basically all it is a T-post with a nice aluminum, probably 8.5 by 11 QR code on it where, basically if you're driving down the gravel road, you'll see this QR post, you pull out your iPhone or your Android or whatever, and it will bring you right to a dashboard, right?
Yep.
And allows you to request to access that land, and the landowners can then monetize that, right? And get money from it?
Yep. So you brought up the monetization. I would say 35 to 40% of our landowners charge. The rest is probably 15% that just don't want anybody on the property at all, and then 50% they don't want to charge. They just want to know who's on their property. They don't want to get sued if you get hurt, and they're totally fine. But they want to be able to track who's there, and if somebody damages, they want that name. So next year when those people come back, they can say no.
Yeah.
But to your point. So you scan the sign. If you're the owner, Max, I say, Max, Levi, two buddies, like to hunt here today and tomorrow. So I put in the dates. You say, yep, no problem. I get kicked back a receipt that says I'm there for these 2 days, right? Today and tomorrow. So next week, if you're driving by the farm and you see a couple guys out there say, hey, you have permission? Yeah, Max gave us permission last Tuesday. Well, that was for,
that was then.
That was then. This is now. I give other people permission. And, that's one thing we run into in North Dakota a lot is if you give somebody permission, sometimes they treat it like...
For lifetime.
Yeah. And then you give another guy permission, and now you're the middleman getting in trouble because you said yes to everybody. And that's frustrating to a lot of farmers and hunters. So we just tried to take each one of those issues, simplify them, and ease that communication or bridge that communication gap.
So you can go in there and request particular days that you want to hunt, and then as landowner, you can accept or deny, and then can you say, yeah, I'll let you hunt for 2 days, but I want $5 an acre?
Yep. So you can also monetize. So the farmer could set up, if he wants $40 or $10.
One-time payment?
Yep, one-time payment. It all goes through Stripe. If you're familiar with Stripe, it's basically what every non... I mean, you go to a hockey game or a football game, right? They're all using just Stripe to run all their credit card processing.
Oh, okay.
So if the farmer does, say, charge $50, you pay $50. The hunter pays $55 because we're getting $5 of that, and then the farmer gets $45. So I make it 10% on each
10%.
Each side.
That was going to be my next question.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we do make a little bit money off the signs. Those are also here made in North Dakota. A short printer right down the road. We partnered with them because, they kick them out in a few days. That's another thing, right? When you don't have shelf space and you're assigning land to a QR code, right? You can we could build out the retail version, or basically we kick it right to short printer when the farmer orders, and within 2 or 3 days it's in a box and it's getting shipped to the farmer.
That's awesome. So since 2020, what sort of response have you guys had from, I think I saw on the website that you guys have like 960 farms or something.
960 farms with 115,000 acres posted.
Yeah, that was the impressive number that I saw. So 115,000 acres with these QR posts affiliated with them.
Yeah.
So it's been a success.
Yeah, it's been a great success. With e-posting, we're not selling as much signs as we would have if e-posting wasn't there, but the farmers are putting QR posts in their contact information. So if you go and Max has it, is e-posting, you could click the link right there and it takes you to the farm and you request permission. So it's a way for the farmer to manage all the requests instead of putting his phone number in. We've got customers that, sometimes 20 phone calls in a day, it's like,
Wow.
Wowza.
and you know how crabby you get if somebody, if you break down your snowblower in the middle of winter, or just think of that while you're combining and people are arguing or asking where to hunt. It's a full-time job for these guys to help people find places to hunt, and I'm sympathetic, right? I'm a 2A guy. I want hunting to be a massive part of our heritage, but we're just trying to really fix it so hunters or farmers aren't annoyed and hunters have places to go.
Okay, let's take a break right there. We'll come back and have more with Levi and Max coming up in just a moment, right here. Auction Talk with Steffes Group on the Mighty 790 and 104.7 KFGO. Welcome back to Auction Talk with Steffes Group here on the Mighty 790, 104.7 KFGO. I'm Rusty Halvorson. In studio with me, Max Steffes and Levi Otis. Max, Levi, we've been talking about something that Levi has, QR posts. And just to clear it up for maybe some of the listeners, when they hear QR posts, that's different from what they may see little signs on the road, plots. Can you kind of describe the difference between that, Max?
Yeah, so in the state of North Dakota, we have the plots program, and it's another way for landowners to monetize hunting access on their properties. So what it stands for is private lands open to sportsmen. And the state came out with that in the late 90s, and it's been wildly successful. I think there's close to 1 million acres that are enrolled in that plots program throughout the state. And lately, on some of the land that we've been selling, we've really noticed some lucrative payments as high as $111 an acre for some of those plots agreement payments. And just another way, kind of like QR posts, to be able to monetize access to your land. Of course, with plots, anybody and everybody can go on the land without your permission. There are some exceptions for that with trapping and some other things, but kind of compare and contrast maybe a little bit how QR posts is different from that.
Yeah, Levi, I would think with some owners with QR posts, you'd still have some control over your land, where plots, it's any and all welcome.
Right. Yep. You guys are nailing it on the head. So with QR posts, you can block off or put out blackout dates. For instance, if you and your family do deer hunting but you want people to be out there hunting ducks and geese all year, right? You can block off all deer season, whatever. Out of the 115,000 acres that we've got posted, about 35% of our farmers say no hunting. I just don't bother me. I don't want to be asked. Okay. 15%, maybe a little more, are charging. Anywhere from $20 to $50. I think 50 is actually the highest anybody is charging.
Okay.
And that's per gun, per guy?
Some are per gun, per guy. Some are per group.
Okay.
And then most of them, I think all but one, have notes in there that says if you're under 18, don't be counted in the amount of people hunting.
Okay.
So they don't charge for anybody under 18 and under. One of my buddies, that's a customer, he doesn't charge for anybody 25 and under.
Okay.
So
college kids get a break.
College kids get a break.
Beer money.
Right? Well, and that's funny you say that, because that's why some of the guys are charging, is just, they're like, well, if they have some skin in the game, maybe, I'm going to have less issues, and then I'm using that money for beer in the shop for all my guys. Mm-hmm. So I think that's fair. And so with plots, you open your land up, and it is a little hypocritical, because we've tried to sit down with North Dakota Game and Fish a couple times and see if there's some things that we could work out where our customers could manage their land with QR posts using the e-posting site. And when we get to the charging or the ability to charge, they've kind of pulled away from the table and said, "Oh, we're going to get crucified by the hunter, so we can't have these conversations." But yet they're taking the license money and paying farmers to leave their land open. I am a private property rights person. I think that leaving your land open is a good thing, but it is, again, your prerogative or your right to limit who and when. You don't know if me as a farmer, if my son is coming home with his buddies from NDSU to hunt this weekend, right? Or my wife's husband or my wife's brother and their family are coming to hunt this weekend, right? There's just 100 different reasons. You might donate your land to the Lake Region State College fundraiser for a hunting trip, right? Like, there's a million reasons why you might not want somebody to hunt. You might not want somebody to hunt because you got cattle out there.
Yes.
You might not want somebody to hunt because your kids are, planting some rye. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Again, a million reasons. So with plots, I think it's a great program. I do think it's a little hypocritical when they get mad at us because we allow private property rights or private property owners to charge. So someday we're going to get around that. I think I'm pretty positive. The rest of the country, as you guys are aware, you can go get a hunting guide for $6,000 for a week, right? What's the difference? That guy's paying somebody to be on their land. And even here in North Dakota, we've got how many guide services, right? And they're either paying people under the table or they've got really nice friends that let them hunt for free. But so I don't necessarily consider it competition, just in the sense that I think that the guys that sign up for plots are like, what the heck, I don't care. I'm going to let somebody hunt it anyway, and just don't bother me about it.
Yeah, it's
Right?
kind of easy. It's a no-brainer thing. They don't have to manage it.
Yep,
And
exactly.
there's some merits in that, but certainly QR Post offers a little bit more, a tremendous amount of care and control that you otherwise forfeit, as both of you guys said, with the plots arrangement, because that is open 365 days a year for people to hunt as long as the season's open.
Yep, absolutely. All right, we're running short on time, fellas. One more time, Levi, where can folks go, and also to see that short little video that Max mentioned one more time with that website?
Yeah, the easiest is qrposts.com, qrposts.com. Go check it out. Our contact information is in there. Info@qrpost.com is a great email, or Levi@qrpost.com. Shoot me an email. We understand it's a very contentious conversation, but we built it to bridge the gap and hopefully open up for everybody, right? We just want people to understand the other's point of view, and if they use it, hopefully a lot of that animosity drifts away.
All right.
Awesome.
That sounds good. Well, Levi, thanks again for coming into the studio. Max, as always, thank you as well.
Thank you, Rusty. Appreciate you bringing us on again. And Levi, thanks again for coming into the studios with us.
Outstanding, Levi. Thank you.
Awesome.
You've been listening to Auction Talk with Steffes Group on the Mighty 790 and 104.7 KFGO.